Astrology. Next week I'm doing this on Sunday the 20th of September 2020, and we'll have a look at what's going on through to next Friday the 25th, because I will be back by then with a report on what's going forward. Now, we're not a million miles away from Mercury retrograde at the moment, but it doesn't actually happen until, let me just make sure I've got the date right, October the 14th, and it goes on till November the 3rd. So nothing to worry about there yet, but in the next week or so we will see the pre-shadow to that Mercury retrograde begin. That's when Mercury kind of slows down before stationing retrograde and then going backwards for 2 or 3 weeks until the 3rd of November, and that's going to be passing through Scorpio and Libra. The moon is in Scorpio right now though on Sunday the 20th, and as we go through the week it'll end up in Aquarius. It's going to enter Aquarius on Friday, so emotionally difficult at the moment under Scorpio, but that will change pretty quickly. Fair bit of jealousy and greediness, you might see sort of envy, that kind of thing. You know, the green-eyed monster coming out. Certain amount of negative feelings you can get with the moon in Scorpio, not least because people tend to see the colours of the world in black and white. You know, you're either one thing or the other, or whatever's happened is kind of for you or against you, or maybe people, not just what's happened. But don't forget that middle ground, guys. That is always the challenge with a Scorpio moon. In fact, it's a challenge with a Scorpio anything. But, you know, sexuality, sensuality, those things go up. Powerful emotions come out, so it gets a bit highly strung. Tact and diplomacy tend to go out of the window. But if you're going to be intense about it, if you've got something to do that you've really got to devote yourself to intensely, the Scorpio moon is a good time to do it. But it's not with us for much longer. The moon is actually going to move on and enter Sagittarius. That's 12:32 p.m. Pacific on tomorrow, Monday the 21st, 3:32 p.m. Eastern, so 8:32 p.m. in the UK evening, more the nighttime thing here in Europe, when we get that Sagittarius moon, and then things become that bit more outgoing. But then again, people can spring back from the outgoing ideas they have. But there we are. Moon is 12.7% now. She's growing fast, waxing, rising rather quickly, and the full moon that comes out of this new moon that we had last week is actually going to be on the 1st of October. So we really are sort of on our way into the fall time now, and things feeling distinctly more wintry. On Tuesday the 22nd, the sun enters Libra, so people born in that time are going to be Librans. We've still got the Sagittarius moon then, still in first quarter, but on the 22nd, of course, it's MABON. It's the fall equinox, the autumn equinox, and leaves are falling off the trees already. They don't hang about. They certainly don't hang about on trees. I've been out clearing leaves from the garden, and so all that craziness is on its way in. We have had a heat wave actually in UK in the last week or so. It's been so hot you wouldn't believe it. Really, really summery weather, but I think we're going to get a kick in the tail pretty soon actually, because we are coming very close to autumn equinox now, and it is happening next week. So it's a great time in paganism, and there's a lot of changes going on then as well. Wednesday, the moon is actually going to enter Capricorn. That's 4:16 in the Pacific afternoon, 7:16 p.m. on the east side, and 5 hours after that, so midnight 16 on Thursday here in UK. And so then that gets us through to Friday, when the moon is going to actually enter Aquarius, 11:08 p.m. Pacific. It's going to enter Aquarius on Saturday at 2:08 a.m. and so 7:08 a.m. we'll be waking up to it in the UK on Saturday the 26th. I will be back before then with more to say, but let's have a quick look at what's happening now, because right at the beginning of the week now, just before the week begins, some people say the week starts on Sunday, some people say Monday, but we're pretty much close to the beginning of the week, whichever way you look at it. And it's kind of like a sunrise chart for the week, so we'll have a quick rundown of what's going on in the heavens right now, because it is setting the scene for the week ahead. The moon is opposite Uranus, so you get kind of events getting disrupted, and it can happen quite suddenly as well when you least expect it. Good time for experiments though, and new things, but moods swing around, you know, so expect the unexpected. That's the moon alignment right now. That can change several times a day, but here we are going into next week, and that is where she is. Mercury square Pluto, challenges, announcements, kind of things about change tend to be, you know, announced when we get this Mercury square Pluto alignment. Talks around those things can be quite tense, and always with Mercury, which is the ruler of communications between people and between places as well, throws up transport problems, possibly disturbing events. You can even get kind of stormy weather, explosions, that kind of thing. Difficult to know exactly who is telling the truth. So seek your own truth as we go through the next week, my friends, because that is how the scene is set right now. Venus trine Mars, affection and devotion are quite strong. That is quite a positive alignment, actually, a trine. So the unpleasantness that we tend to associate with Mars alignments isn't a problem there. Action in anything to do with money, love, romance, that is strongly indicated. Maybe more today than on any other day as we go through the next week, but there we are. That's quite positive. We actually find leadership, leaders willing to cooperate each other to actually get things done, and that's fairly positive. It depends what it is exactly that they're trying to get done, let's face it, but it's positive between leaders, generally speaking. Mars square Saturn, got to handle those primitive impulses which are quite strong, and it's kind of an abrasive transit. This is the less happy face of Mars, really, because that is a square between Mars and Saturn. Conflicts, tensions, accidents, that kind of thing. The sort of situation you might find is a war starting or fighting breaking out, big mistakes being made, and man-made disasters. Well, let's face it, we are living through man-made disasters at this very moment, and we have been all the way through 2020. Will it spread through the winter? Will it spread into 2021? Who knows? But Mars square Saturn is the case. Jupiter is conjunct Pluto, new leadership, things merging together, and actually power sharing, and maybe even sharing of wealth as well is indicated, so that's a good one. Saturn conjunct Pluto, resource control gets to be an issue. Well, that kind of plays into all the other aspects that we've seen so far this week, does it not? Uranus void in Taurus, so Uranus on the way into Gemini. Unconventional actions, radical things, surprises happen, so that's another case of expect the unexpected. Neptune sextile Jupiter at this very moment. Spiritual optimism, idealism and high hopes. Well, why not get a spiritual reading? I do them all the time. Got an offer on all this weekend, actually, of a 3-card mini reading, £15 or I think it's $19 or $20, but it's the dollar rate according to the exchange rate. I'm doing those all the time, and that offer goes on right through the weekend. So why not get one of those at this time of spiritual optimism? It's amazing how much you can get from a 3-card reading, actually. Just things are less confused, really. Also, birth charts. If anyone wants a birth chart, do give me a shout. You can get them free on any of the astrology websites, but the ones I do, which cost a little bit of money unfortunately, they do go very, very deep, and I include the asteroids in those as well. So if you want one of those, drop me a personal message. Use my email 35and83@gmail.com. But I have forgotten Pluto, which is void in Capricorn at the moment, on its way into Aquarius. Movement towards displaying outright power. It's not actually happening, but that's the direction that things are going in. Tolerance, patience, kind of pushed out of the window, and drastic actions tend to happen. But that is way, way down the list of influences, friends, so nothing there to worry about. Okay, that is this week's Astro Weather, and I will be back on Friday the 25th as the moon will have entered Aquarius, and we'll take a look at what's going on next weekend, and on and on. That's the way it goes. So if you want a reading, if you want a birth chart, drop me a message. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button down there, and like the video, stick a thumbs up for me, leave me a comment. It's always good to share the journey. If you're watching on social media, check out my YouTube channel, Twig Brother. just those two words, Twig Brother, on YouTube, and you will find me, because there's always stuff going on there. There'll be tarot readings and stuff coming up as we go through the week. Meanwhile, my friends, have a fantastic week ahead. It's actually looking really positive in lots and lots of ways, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.